Guys, how are you? Again, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm always 2 or 3 minutes late. I apologize. It's not on purpose. Just a crazy Monday so far. How's everybody doing? Can you hear me okay? I just thought I would jump on quickly in the middle of the day. Maybe go for like 30, 45 minutes. All right, give me 1 second. Let me just get my act together here. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Just make an adjustment here. Okay. All right. Where'd it go? There it is. All right. Let's jump in the chat. Ryan, how's it going? I was crying buckets when I heard Tom Brady lost, but then found some vintage in my mailbox. Honestly, Tom spoiled us in Boston for 20 years, and I was hoping he would do it in Tampa for another 20. I mean, you said it best by saying you spoiled for 20 years. I think it's funny when I see people that are 35 that are longtime Pats fans that started when they were kids or 30. It's like you only knew Tom Brady, and those Patriots. I mean, you're ruined. You're kind of ruined as a fan because you're so used to the bar being this high, and it just won't ever. I don't believe it's ever going to happen again. I don't believe that level of dominance is ever going to happen again. How many Super Bowls did Tom Brady go to over a 20-year span, 19-year span? Was it 9, 10, 9? Because he's won 7. No, he's lost 3. That's right. He went to 10. He's gotten to 10 Super Bowls in 20 seasons. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And I actually did think, yeah, I feel bad for Josh Allen too. The thing that's crazy too is I was thinking, you know what? Josh Allen will be back and the Bills will be back. But here's the problem though, is like, look at the QB talent in the AFC. The AFC is loaded. I mean, even like, and we're talking even like the young players, Mahomes. I mean, look at just Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, and Josh Allen. Those 4 guys are going to be battling it out, and that's not including all the other AFC QBs that aren't bad. There's a bunch of others that are in there. It's wild. I felt bad for Josh Allen yesterday too, and I didn't really care who won that game between the Chiefs and the Bills, but typically if I don't really care, then I go for kind of the underdog or the team that hasn't been there. So I found myself kind of rooting for the Bills because like the Bills are just, they're kind of long overdue. I remember in the 80s when they went to 4 Super Bowls in a row with Bruce Smith and Thurman Thomas and Jim Kelly and just never got it done. So I wouldn't mind to see the Bills, get there, and their fan base is rabid. Yeah. I just don't understand how they didn't squib kick with 13 seconds left. You squib kick it. Yes, you are risking them, bringing it out to the 40 or something, but it eats up, 4 or 5 seconds off the clock. It just doesn't give very much time. There's not 2 plays to run if you do the squib kick. So I just don't understand why they kicked it deep. What's going on, Dominic? Yep, I do have a drink. It's coffee. It's coffee, not a drink, obviously. Yeah, happy for Stafford. So I'm kind of torn here because on the one hand, I don't like the Bucs. They're division rival. I'm a New Orleans Saints fan. On the other hand, the Rams, all the Rams had to do was beat the 49ers at the end of this season, and the Saints would have been in the playoffs. They couldn't do that. And then, of course, 3 years ago, they got, the worst non-call in history, sent them to the Super Bowl to then lay an egg, to the Patriots. They scored, 10 points in the Super Bowl? Absolutely got destroyed by the Patriots. Not destroyed. It was kind of a defensive battle, but you understand my point. So I'm not a Rams fan either. So I'm pulling for Joey B. Joey B and the Bengals. I've got a couple of buddies that are Bengals fans, but I do like, okay, so out of that, I do agree. Starscream, Matt Stafford just being, long time with the Lions. It's kind of cool to see him doing well, but I'm not really a fan of McVay and the rest of their peeps. Yeah, Brian Sherland. I know. Where is Brian Sherland? I don't see him. He's always talking smack to me. He's always talking smack. Yeah, Cooper Kupp was fantastic except for his fumble. It was shocking to see their best player make that mistake. But it was just weird to see the Rams kind of implode there in the second half. They had complete control of the game, and just dumb mistakes really should have cost them. And they were fortunate to get out of there, but it was interesting. Good day, Alex. Good to see you. All right, good. I'm glad you can hear me all right. Collecting cards in a serious way. Well, so I feel like I was collecting cards in a serious way, like in my childhood, but I'll answer your question as an adult. So as an adult, I got back in the beginning of 2018. So like first, January, February, March of 2018. So about 4 years, I got back into the hobby, and that was really just kind of a midlife crisis. I'm 40 now, so we're talking like 36. I was kind of inching up to 40, and I was chasing after stuff from my childhood. Sports cards, comic books, and collectibles in general were always kind of a fun escape for me. And then in March of 2020, I started this channel, and that's kind of been, so I got back in 4 years ago, and then almost 2 years ago, I started my YouTube channel and started doing that seriously. So that's my journey. Hey, Vadim, good to see you. Vadim, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Yeah, no kidding. Crazy weekend of playoff football. Great games. I mean, absolutely great games. I just kind of wish, I don't know. I just felt bad for Josh Allen and the Bills. And I know there's a lot of Chiefs fans out there. If they hadn't already won, if Mahomes hadn't already won one, been to another Super Bowl, then I would have said, fine. But, it's just kind of like, okay, it's going to be the dominant Chiefs again, which I know if you're a Chiefs fan, it's fantastic. But, I wanted to see the Bills get over the hump. I feel like the divisional round every year, though, is usually pretty good. That's usually the best weekend of football, in my opinion, is the divisional round. And I kind of like the new setup where you've got 7 seeds on each side. I like that. Some people are like, oh, I don't know if I really like that 7 seed getting in because they're getting blown out by the 2 seed. Yeah, but that's not going to happen every year. That's a random thing. I would rather have the 7 seed in each conference so that my team has a shot, an extra chance to get in there. And you look like the 49ers snuck into the playoffs and they just beat the number 1 seed Packers. So there you go. Yeah, exactly. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. Iconic trading cards. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm not trying to talk smack about your Chiefs, man. I know that I also follow Victory Investments on Instagram. Oh, if you guys aren't following me on Instagram or connecting with me on Instagram, please do that. It's just at the Personal Finance Dad. But Victory Investments is a huge Chiefs fan, so good for him. I'm happy for the Chiefs fans. Yeah, 10 Super Bowl, 7 wins in 20 years is absolutely insane. It's insanity in today's NFL to think of that. You know what, though? I feel like the Bills, yeah, I mean, there was some things definitely. It's just hard to stop Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And Mahomes is really, really good at finding one or the other. And then, of course, you've got the other guys too that he finds as well. It's a very hard team to stop. It's a very hard team to stop. So I just question what that last 13 seconds is the part that special teams was not great. I don't know why they kicked it deep. I don't get it. Just squib kick it, and then have them burn 4 or 5 seconds off the clock. And then, there's 8 seconds left. They don't have time to do all that stuff that they did. No, it was just frustrating. I know. No, and that was a game I didn't like. I'm not upset that the Chiefs won. I'm not upset. It's just if I don't care that if it's not my team, then I'm just pulling for the underdog, and the Bills were the underdog. Tua, Zach, Mac, and Trevor. Yeah. What do you guys think about that upcoming QB class? Because nobody really stood out outside of Mac Jones, but even Mac Jones, he was kind of good in that first half of the season, and the second half of the season was kind of like, The thing is out of that QB group, someone's going to be a great player. Whether we're talking about, not Tua necessarily, he was a year before, but Zach, Mac, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence. One of those four is probably going to be a legit starter in the league, maybe a Hall of Famer. Maybe not all of them, but it's just wild. You think about the young QB talent in the league. Yeah, squig it. Just kick it up the middle. I don't understand it. Brian, I hope that you're okay. I know that probably was not easy. I have a lot of friends that are Bucks fans. Brad, the comeback card investor, is a fair weather Bucks fan, so I don't really consider him a true Bucks fan, even though he's got the flag and the T-shirt and all that. I think that's more of like he loves Tom Brady more than he loves the Bucks. But I do have other friends. One of my good friends here locally is also a big Bucks fan. So. But do I feel bad for him? No, they won the Super Bowl last year, and it's a division rival. Of course I don't. What's up, Raul? Good to see you, man. AIH Sports, another very, very good content creator for sports cards, also wraps in kind of, big picture finance stuff. So check out his YouTube channel as well right here, AIH Sports. Yeah, Cam Akers with the fumble. Yeah, I was like, oh, God. Yeah, I don't want Brady to retire, even though I know that sounds kind of weird. I mean, I have a lot of Brady cards, so I'm a little bit torn. Not that the cards, I mean, it's like he's already set his legacy, but I don't, I mean, I would like for him to cement himself as the GOAT with all the records and everything, because really Aaron Rodgers is the only guy behind him. And yes, I know that Mahomes, probably one day, if he stays healthy, will have a shot at these records, but it'll be a solid decade before anyone sniffs these records, even with the extra game in the regular season. So I kind of want to see Tom Brady hang around a little bit longer, even though he's helping the division rival Bucks try to beat my Saints. He can't. Well, it hasn't worked in the regular season, but anyway. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that. I mean, if you're the other team's coach, you're probably thinking, there's 13 seconds. But just the way that game was flowing, I would not have wanted, I would rather have taken the time off the clock and let one of their, special teams guys run it up the field than either A, kick it deep and give it to one of their speedsters to run it back on you, or B, give Mahomes 13, 2 plays. Because really, you saw how quickly the most amazing one was the crossing pattern to Tyreek Hill. That was a 15-yard pass that went for 60 because Tyreek Hill turned on the Jets and just left everybody. And that's what they were scared of. They had, their prevent defense in, but still it's like, gosh, I mean, they didn't want to give up anything over the top, but it doesn't even matter with this Chiefs team. They're so fast that, you can give up the crossing route and that will turn into a 60-yard play. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe the Bengals walk into this game with nothing to lose. You have to think about it from that standpoint. It's their first time, winning. They just won their first road playoff game in franchise history. Joey B's in his second year. Chase is a rookie. This is a young team that's got a bright future. So the Bengals walk into this game with no pressure whatsoever. The Chiefs have all the pressure. Now, with that game against the Bills, will there be kind of a letdown? I mean, if you think about all the energy, the emotion that went into this game against the Bills, and granted, the Bengals had the same thing, but I still think that the Bengals have a chance because of Burrow and Chase. They just seem to find a way. The only thing is, I mean, the offensive line. I mean, the Bengals offensive line is horrific. The fact that they won the game with Burrow getting sacked 9 times is pure insanity that happened. But, the Bills, or not the Bills, the Titans defensive line, in my opinion, is better than the Chiefs defensive line. So that'll be something that will be interesting to watch. The Bengals offensive line has got to play the game of their lives and hold up. They've got to give Burrow some time. Thanks, man. Yeah, I have been focused on the PMGs. Not the 90s PMGs. They're just outside of my price range. And honestly, I mean, I don't have $5,000 for a Barry Sanders in the Lions uniform. PMG. I did get I was excited. I do have on order an SGC 10 that I got. It's in the Oklahoma State uniform, and it's the 2012 Fleer Retro set PMG, an SGC 10 that I was able to pick up that's on the way. So I'm excited about that one. So I've just been focused on those 2012 Fleer Retro football PMGs. They're just less expensive. And I also like that they're all-time greats, even though they're in the college unis. It's Staubach and it's Theismann and it's Bart Starr and there's Namath, and there's all sorts of kind of and those legends don't have 90s PMGs. So I kind of like that. But I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see, John. We'll see. We will see. I haven't been paying the baseball stuff, paying attention to it. Augusta Lawn Care of Cherry Hill. Apologies, but I'm not a baseball guy. I just don't watch modern baseball, so I'm just the last one to talk to about or ask anything about baseball stuff. I mean, I know they're striking, or they're kind of we're striking. They're trying to figure out the league's trying to figure out the money situation, but yeah. I just hope, I think for baseball fans, it doesn't drag on. Yeah, Josh Allen really showed out. I mean, that was one thing where at the end of the game where he scored that last touchdown, I was thinking like, with 13 seconds, that really should have won it. I was thinking like, wow, like he is really coming, because Josh Allen in the playoffs has been really hit or miss. Not this year necessarily, but in years past. And he's a young guy, like he's got years ahead of him, but he hasn't been careful with the football. He's made some kind of boneheaded plays. And last night he just played. I mean, he played a fantastic game. It was really a special performance, really special. Yeah, and that's the thing that's kind of, I mean, like, that's one thing that's interesting is there's a lot of QB talent that was just drafted that really didn't even, do anything this past season. Trevor Lawrence on a bad team, coach gets fired halfway through the year. All these guys, I mean, they're going to get, and think about it too. This is how it usually works with QBs. Most QBs are not playing, Pro Bowl football. I was going to say their freshman or sophomore year, their rookie or their sophomore year. It usually takes a couple of years to kind of get things going. All right, good deal. Yeah, I nailed Troy. Nailed it. Yeah, man, absolutely, absolutely. Phoenix Rising 2430. Good to see you. He's definitely still the GOAT. He's still the GOAT. And I don't think there was anybody at the end of that game that thought the Rams were going to pull that out. I know I didn't. Once I saw the tide and the momentum start to turn, I was like, this is typical Tom Brady playoff stuff that's happening, you know? And it was shocking that the Rams ended up pulling this out because it just doesn't happen like that. Gold is up. I know this is kind of a side note, but for anybody that buys into crypto, are you buying the crypto dip? Are you waiting? Because I bought a little bit over the last couple of days. It's been dropping pretty dramatically. So I'm kind of dollar cost averaging down. And I look to do the same thing with sports cards. I mean, prices for a lot of stuff has come down obviously over the last 7, 8, 9 months. And so I'm watching certain things. But are you guys doing anything with crypto? I mean, a lot of the markets are. The Dow Jones is down. I don't think real estate's down yet. It depends on where you are in the country, I suppose. But crypto, anybody doing any crypto stuff? Fine reason. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for showing up. Real men play soccer. I don't know, man. American football is pretty serious too. I understand soccer is a tough game, but yeah, NFL football is the real deal. I mean, I see all the injuries watching soccer when everyone kind of they collide and they lay on the ground grabbing their ankle for 10 minutes. I mean, I know it's tough out there compared to NFL football. 49ers Bengals. Wouldn't that be a nice revenge game for the Bengals? Somewhere Boomer Esiason will be just like sweating watching that game. Oh, hold on a second, guys. I'm just going to go on mute for 1 second. I'll be right back. My little ones are being loud. Had to get on them. Of course, it's another like snow day where, the kids are not in school. It's like, can they just go back to school, please? The 49ers were impressive. Yeah, Garoppolo. No one cares about Garoppolo. The defense, man, the 49ers defense just shows up. Little red and blue. Yeah, so the one that I posted on Instagram, so I have a red, I have the red and the blue for this. Bruce Smith, so there wasn't a PMG for Bruce Smith in the 90s, at least that I know of. I'm pretty certain that there was not. So again, like college uni, Virginia Tech uni for Bruce Smith, but it's numbered out of 50, just like, it's numbered like the other red PMGs. There's a green PMG out there on eBay right now, I think for about $2,000. So I'm not getting that one. But the red and the blue were reasonable. And before this, I hadn't owned any PMGs, so I also just wanted to see them in person because everyone's like, man, they're just so unbelievable looking, and they are unbelievable looking. They definitely are. Troy, you are the man. I so much appreciate it. Yeah, he does. Yeah, what's sad is Brad needs the content on his channel, so that's why the live streams always go on his channel. He needs the content on there, so we do it on his channel. And he's got the StreamYard set up and everything. So all good. But thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate it. You are the man. I like following you on Instagram too. Follow Troy's Collectibles on Instagram. Is that your IG, Troy? I can't remember if that's your actual handle. If your handle's different, then let people know in the chat. But he's got a great Instagram account, puts his cards on there as well. So check out Troy's _collectibles on IG. Yeah, and even the 2012s. I mean, I understand, like I have the 2012, well, it's on the way. It's in the mail, hopefully, that Barry Sanders I was telling you about in the Oklahoma State uni. I mean, look, the Lions one from the 90s is unbelievable. It's just I don't have the cash for that one. I mean, but I love that one. It's so cool. So yeah. Yeah, and I know they are making new ones now too. Everything that's old is new again, right? It's the 80s, 90s, and then eventually it'll be the 2000s nostalgia. That'll be what everyone's, bringing back. Yeah. Where's the meatloaf? Ma, bring the meatloaf. Yeah, I saw it. Well, when Josh Allen completely ran over, who was the DB? Um, there's a Chiefs DB that had to be that got hurt. He left the game when Josh Allen ran straight up the field and ran him over, and then he was done. Yeah. Yeah. This is when your kids are home for a snow day and they've already been out for a week. It's time for them to go back to school. Like, I can't. Thanks, Charles. Yeah, you know a little something about PMGs. Are you retiring on your Marvel PMGs or are you holding? Charles is stacking gems. Is that right, Charles? On on IG, stacking gems. And he's got all the fancy Marvel PMGs that are now $1 zillion. They're all Charles already had them. Charles has had them for a long time. Yeah, I'm not a baseball guy. I'm just not. I like vintage baseball cards, but as far as just watching baseball, oh man, I mean, we have a really cool minor league team here locally, the Durham Bulls in North Carolina. Cool stadium. I like going to watch Durham Bulls games, but it's more just about like hanging out and doing something fun, less about, baseball. I'm boring when it comes to baseball stuff. Yeah, that would actually be really cool. Yeah, Barry Sanders is very quickly turning into my kind of my PC, my PC guy. This is another one. I don't remember if I showed this on the last live stream, but Boss Hogs, another interesting insert set from 1999. This is absolute. It's a football, obviously, on a card, and it's signed. But these are really rare coming out of the packs. I mean, it's like 1 out of 360 packs, and then there's like a 10 or 15 player checklist. So yeah, there's some pretty cool ones. I have this one, and then I also have this one is it's a little bit beat up, but I just got it anyway. Peyton Manning. So second year Peyton Manning, but this one actually has a crease on it. So it's pretty banged up, but just, again, just like cool cards, like inserts that you just don't you don't see very much because they're just not easy to find. You actually raise a good point here, Scott. Crypto div Well, I guess what I thought you meant with tax liabilities, maybe this is what you mean, but just people are took gains maybe from NFT sales or from crypto, like they made money on crypto and they've got tax liabilities. And so it maybe has something to do with now we're in a new year and it's like, okay, I'm going to take profits to help pay for last year's gains. I could see that. I could see that as being a thing. I think that's what you're getting at. Maybe not. But I could see people doing that. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're not laughing too much now, Charles. They're definitely not laughing now. Now they're calling you like, "Hey, can I get one of those?" Yeah, this was the part this is kind of when I got out of the hobby was probably like 95 because I was 14 in 95. So that was just about when I was getting out and that's basically when they actually started doing really cool pack pulled stuff. When I was a kid it was like you're trying to pull like Larry Johnson and Shaq rookies like in 91, 92. I'm trying to think of what it looked like in football it was Pinnacle. I had a lot of like cool Pinnacle type inserts, but they weren't numbered or anything like what you saw from like 95 to 2005. Yeah, so a lot of what I'm doing now is kind of going back. It's like, yes, I go back to the stuff that I bought and then the vintage stuff, when I was a kid, but then and also the vintage stuff. But there's also a big subset of cards that I missed out on. And so now I'm kind of looking back at that stuff like, I'm taking a look at, how rare are these inserts, and then doing that. That's been a fun deep dive lately. Where's the Brad? We can treat Brad's missteps and continually ask him why he knows nothing about vintage. Yeah, it's sad, right? It's sad. I think we're going to probably spend a lot of this week's show talking about hinge dates and how he's like is he ever going to settle down? It probably won't. Probably will not. Will he find a girl that's going to put up with that Bucks banner and nothing on the walls and yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah, Flippin' Steve is not. Flippin' Steve has been going in on the Marvel stuff for sure. Yep, music and Marvel stuff. Absolutely. Must be modeling lipstick this week. Hey, if it pays, I'm sure he's listening. If it pays. That is hilarious. All right, guys. I'll probably make this one kind of quick. We're at like 28 minutes. If there's anything else you want to throw out there, want to talk about, I just wanted to talk a little bit about football. I didn't have a video come out today, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump on a live stream and just hang out with folks for a little bit. But yeah, let me know if there. I'll stay on for like another 5 minutes and then probably jump off and get back to the day. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, that was a thought that I had. I mean, his magazines, I feel like really kind of brought that stuff to the forefront. It was already, well, and he said it was already kind of gaining steam, which I think prompted him to want to branch out and do hockey and football and basketball magazines. But I don't think his stuff hurt at all. I mean, it was definitely kind of like the price guide really helped. As much as people want to say that they, just don't collect for any sort of a financial, reason at all, I do also think that there's just a lot of people that like the price guides, to be able to see what their stuff is worth or, follow it, track it, even without any intention of even selling it or getting rid of it. Yeah. Singing Rams of the National. I know. I hope he makes it. Because that's East Coast. That's pretty far from him. We'll see if he makes it to the National. Oh yeah, unfortunately, football is the only sport I've been keeping up with, and the whole show is flooded with overproduced 2021 stuff. Okay. Yeah, the card shows are really fun. I really enjoy the local shows where I am, and then also going to shows. I am going to Atlanta at the end of February for the Culture Collision show. And I heard they're going to do like a celebrity basketball game or something that's in the middle of the show. So there, there's some entertainment value added. I think that'll be fun. But I will try to get footage of it. I'll try to do some vloggy type stuff. I'll probably have my oldest son come with me or somebody come with me. So I'll have kind of a cameraman, so to speak, but just so I can capture some of that show. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, they're surgically implanted PSA slabs. You could be right. You could be right. Ultra modern base rookie cards, any hope for them in terms of long-term value? I just feel like as the years go on, we keep on seeing more and more of the parallel stuff, which just to me, iconic trading cards, it seems like it just continues to water down the base stuff. Honestly, the parallels are watered down, let alone the base cards. That's the tricky part. It's not to say, I mean, obviously, like I don't know the future, but there would have to be some massive inbound demand. I feel like to really kind of like what we had, over the last couple of years where base cards did see, push upward, you would have to have some massive kind of demand that sticks. In my opinion, and it obviously depends on the player, depends on circumstances and the set and all that. But I don't know. Even the parallels to me are not rare anymore. When you like select that new select product, that 2020, 2021 select product is kind of the poster child for this, where they've got over 100 different parallels. Why would anybody get the base card? If the parallels are, if there's 100 different parallels, the base card is got to be cheap. Even if it's a PSA 10, it's like, who cares? I mean, PSA 10 parallels are going to be tough, if it's not a jersey match or it's not a, or not a, yeah, or a team color match or something. There's got to be something special about it. And I think that's going to be kind of an issue over the next few years. And then that'll be an issue for Fanatics, how they will handle that, what's going to be their game plan for it. But I think the big question mark is, will Fanatics be successful in bringing cards to the mainstream the same way that it was in the 80s and the 90s, in the late 80s, early 90s? Because that boom was more of kids collecting, and then adults got into it. Now it's kind of the opposite, where you've got all those kids are growing up and now they're adults like me and they're into it, and now they're trying to get their sons, daughters into it, etc. It's kind of backwards. So are they going to have success, really getting this mainstream? And if so, if it's seriously mainstream, then maybe certain base cards, yeah. But oh man, I don't know. That's such a tough one. Hey Ziggy, good afternoon. Good to see you. Mahomes to the moon. I'm assuming Mahomes 86 might have something to benefit there if Mahomes goes to the moon. You mean literally, like on a spaceship to the moon, or you mean his cards to the moon? Mass-produced rookies, they're accomplishing nothing but making massive amounts of expensive commons that no one wants. Well, we're just watering down hits. Everything's a hit. If it's kind of like everyone gets a participation trophy now in the breaks, even like the base cards are like shiny parallel, whatever, it's like some sort of a patch card or something. I mean, back when I was collecting cards, if you got some sort of a patch card, which didn't even really exist, but my point is because it was just cardboard and there was nothing really special about the cards, there was no chance at an auto, there was no chance at a game worn patch. If I was someone that was doing this in the 80s and then got into it now, getting back into it, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I got a massive hit, not realizing that that's what the companies do now, is they produce a ton of the patch cards and and the autos, et cetera, and all that stuff. I have not checked out the UFC Strike NFTs, announcers audio included. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah, I have not checked that out yet, Ziggy. I know I've been getting pings on a bunch of different NFT options. I would like to get involved with some of the NFL all day stuff. That's the Dapper Labs. So the NBA Top Shot for the NFL. I haven't gotten an invite or I don't know how to get into it, but when that becomes more when it's out to the public, then I would like to dance a little bit in there because I think that'll be fun. RPAs, yeah, yeah, just memorabilia cards. I mean, I don't necessarily buy just rookie patch autos, but just patch autos in general, or just cool autos for certain sets. I know I've showed this card before, but Bo Jackson. It's signed. There's no auto, but it's numbered and it's exquisite. And to me, I like exquisite football because exquisite is like the mecca set. If we're talking about like the luxury sets, yeah, you've got national treasures, you've got flawless, and then you've got exquisite. Exquisite is one of those where they're beautiful cards, and I'm just going after kind of those older legends. Kind of and not everybody's doing that. Most people are not buying Bo Jackson stuff because they're thinking like, what's going to make that card go up? Like Bo Jackson's not going to play anymore, but it's just the legend of Bo. And so I'm specifically going after football legends as well, kind of staying in my lane there. It's Namath, it's Unitas, it's Jim Brown, it's Bo Jackson, it's Barry Sanders, etc. Yeah, well, gold. Yeah, everyone likes the gold stuff. It seems like gold prism. It's hyped up a lot. The vinyl golds and everything. They are scarce. They definitely are scarce. So I understand, and they're beautiful cards. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I'm going to Atlanta, Gate City, Paul. I'm going to Culture Collision show at the end of February. I'll be there. Flippin' Steve will be there. I don't know who else is going to be there. I'm not sure, but I'm excited about that one. That'll be a fun one. I like card shows in general, so it's going to be good. Yeah, Fanatics buys Top Crumbs football. Can you imagine the lead up to that? Can you imagine the lead up? Oh, and then Troy, think about this. Um, Arch Manning is going to be coming into the NFL probably about the same time that Fanatics takes over in 4 or 5 years, because I believe that Arch Manning is about to commit to either Alabama or Georgia. He's got it narrowed down. The point is that like he's going to be coming into the league like right as all this stuff starts coming about. Arch Manning Topps Chrome rookie cards are going to be what? I mean, like if you think about the hype behind like Trevor Lawrence is huge, big time hype prospect. Think about Arch Manning. Like Arch Manning is going to be like, assuming he has like a decent college career, but he was pretty wicked in high school. I mean, we'll see, but I mean, like think about the hype of that guy coming into the league. It's going to be insane. Oh, okay, wait list. I didn't even know there was a wait list, so I'm not even on that. So yeah, I'll probably just honestly, I know at some point they'll open it up to everybody. I'll probably just get in at that point. One thing that I like too are game worn jersey cards for legends. Like I saw one that was not very expensive and it was for like Walter Payton. Like I mean it wasn't cheap, but I thought that stuff was kind of cool too because the game worn stuff is obviously it's become like few and far between now. It's all player worn or player, the player looked at it from across the room or the player touched it one time or something. I don't know. Yeah, I like all the old kind of the game worn jersey cards are pretty neat. Yeah, and you never know. I mean, we could see something again where there's just a lot of, I mean, the examples that everybody uses are like Zion Prism PSA 10 base, base prism. There's 20,000 of those, or Luca, base prism. There's 20,000 of those. That is a lot. Don't get me wrong. That's a massive print run. But if it's a mainstream hobby, if it becomes more mainstream and you do have, where it's like, more than just me and on my neighborhood block or into cards, I mean, like where it's like a thing where like people are really, really big into it. If it's more mainstream, then yeah, maybe those cards do see a spike. Maybe, if Luca is running the league or, Giannis or whoever, all that's where these cards, I believe even the base stuff can get a bump, but it's going to take, some sustainable demand, and that's the big question. Will it come? Will it ever come like it did the last 2 years? Maybe not. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, let's definitely, if you see me, definitely say, "Hey, culture." I didn't get to go last year, so yeah, that'll be cool. Oh, I appreciate that. Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a monster card. You're talking about the Tom Brady championship ticket. Yeah, that's a monster card, man. It's wild. Some of Tom Brady's stuff. The thing that's amazing is he's kind of like Mike Trout in that way, where no one really thought Mike Trout was going to be Mike Trout, and then it took a few years, and then he's kind of he's blossomed. But everybody had opportunities. Everyone had a shot at Tom Brady cards on the cheap. Just nobody knew what he was going to become. Yeah, yeah. Some of these new players are going to get they're going to get that love, the excitement, the excitement around them. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it, get back to the day. I just wanted to pop in and say hello. So thank you very much for joining me here. Have a great rest of your day. And I will definitely talk to you I'll be on a live stream with Brad on Wednesday night, Brad, the Comeback Card Investors channel. So check that out. Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern is off centered. I don't know if we have a guest. We had Ken Golden lined up for this week. He had to reschedule it though. So we're going to have him at some point in February. It looks like we're going to have Ken on the show. So I think it might be just me and Brad, or we might have kind of like a last second addition for a guest. Where we've got a few kind of we have a few out there, so we will see what happens there. But guys, thank you very much for joining again. I will be back on. I'll have a video out tomorrow, and we'll go from there. All right, take care, guys. See ya.